Hello and welcome to MorningFile. I'm your host, Emma McCarty, and today I am speaking with Jeremy Freiburger about Hamilton Winterfest, which will be happening January 29th until February 15th. So to start, do you want to just kind of maybe talk about Winterfest, what it's looked like in the past, and obviously how it will be different this year?
Sure, yeah, every festival is different this year.
Yeah.
Hamilton Winterfest has been happening in our city since 1976. So it's been, we're into year 45 now, I guess.
Wow.
And it's grown and changed over the years, and that it used to be run by the city. And Winterfest was kind of like an umbrella marketing approach to supporting about, somewhere between 50 and 80 community events every year that were everything from book readings at the library to hot chocolate in Carter Park to arts organizations doing things to pancake breakfasts, all sorts of very family-friendly, community-oriented programming. And then 3 years ago, the city brought us on to sort of try and grow the festival. And so we've taken it from a little tiny budget to a slowly growing budget, brought in more arts content, brought in a much bigger marketing presence. So there are signature concerts. There's things like Frostbites, the Hamilton Fringe Festival, site-specific performance. The library does tons of stuff. There are lots of music events and art events from organizations all across the city, and this year is radically different.
Yeah. I guess my next question, going off of that, is what was it kind of like planning and figuring out an event to this scale? Like, you guys have over 50 events happening, and it's virtual. So what was that like?
The variation of Winterfest that we're going out with this year is definitely, I think we're on like version 5 of what we had planned. So we spend, you spend a good year planning out a festival, from writing grants and gathering sponsors and all that sort of stuff and soliciting content from artists and community groups. And we started with one plan, and then the first COVID lockdown happened, and we sort of looked at it and said, should we still do this? And we had to talk to a lot of, officials at the city and the province to really understand the rules. And so we augmented our plan. So that plan was then to take this thing called the Winterfest Hub tour to 11 different parks across the city, this huge sort of art installation piece that we do every year. And we did a survey of all of the smaller community groups and organizations that were doing programming and said, how do you all feel? About 50% of them at that point said, we got to step out. We don't feel like we can honestly meet all the regulations properly. And that all the effort that goes into organizing, especially when it's like volunteers in neighborhoods doing events, all that energy, and then to have to possibly cancel or only do it for 10 people or something just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate, but we said, okay, like those events that still want to go ahead, we'll support you. So we'll get behind those from a marketing standpoint more and offer services and equipment to them. And then the second lockdown happened. and that was kind of the death knell of any in-person stuff. So we had to take a lot of content online, and we've basically become like a film production crew for the last number of weeks. So still taking a lot of our core concerts. We've got 3 big concerts with Illitree, Clarel, and Monowhales. So those are still being filmed and broadcast. 2 filmed here in town and 1 being filmed in Montreal with Clarel. We're taking all of the content from what was called the Winterfest Hub, the giant inflatable icebergs and the projection art that we commissioned, and we're taking that to a secret location and setting it all up. And a local filmmaker named Christoph Benfey from Loki Studios he's like a total drone flying wizard. And so he's making us a really stunning like 360 camera tour of what the hub could have been.
I saw that on the list of the website, and I'm really excited to see that one, just like how it's going to go. And I saw there's like a 25-minute music type of thing that goes along with it, which I think will be really interesting.
Yeah, so we commissioned 4 videos that would have been part of the in-person experience. One called Drift by a team of local artists. That's really stunning. There's some photos up on our Instagram of just like little 10-second snippets of it, but it's 25 minutes long and has original video and original audio composition to go with it. And then 2 dance pieces by a local artist team, again, led by a woman named Clarendine. Really beautiful. These 2 really like calming, contemplative dance pieces. And then Hamilton Aerial Group always does a show during Winterfest. So we commissioned them to create a video-based piece as well. So that'll all be part of this 360 experience, along with the beautiful grounds we're going to and the huge icebergs and a light show.
Yeah, that'll be awesome too, because you get the drone side of it instead of just like a walkthrough with a camera. The drone will really make the experience, I think.
Yeah, and we've cut out enough of a budget. Like once we had to sort of cancel a lot of in-person stuff, we looked at what we had left and said, if we're going to go online, there's a lot of online content right now. Mm-hmm. We want to go out with like 4 amazing things, not like 65 kind of meh things. So we put a lot of resources into this. So Christoph he's an amazing drone pilot, but he's also got like a visual effects team with him and all sorts of stuff that are going to make it a really amazing experience. So
it's an awesome idea, and just kind of switches from like the regular video format that we've seen. Yeah. So you mentioned there's 3 signature concerts going on. There's also 4 online lunchtime concerts. Did you want to explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of NPR's Tiny Desk concerts, like everybody else is. So amazing talent there. And so again, we had these concerts planned to be live streamed, but we partnered with the Hamilton Museums because this is co-produced with the city, and we wanted to do concerts in sort of undiscovered spaces. And we love our museums, and again, they're being forced to close and all that sort of stuff. So Bridie Huffman and Pam Edenden, Pam Mulholland, sorry, I still call her by her old name. She's happily married to Mark. Have been our city contacts that have worked really hard to still make these happen. So we have 4 artists who we're taking into spaces that you typically can't get to in some of the city museums. So we have 4. We have Mother Tarika playing on the engineer's deck at the Steam and Tech Museum. We have Harrison Kennedy playing up at Griffin House in Ancaster. We have Heather Valley playing at Ockmar. And we have Deeps playing out of Whitehorn. So those are free lunchtime concerts, again, in really cool spaces, and meant to be like really lo-fi, personal kind of concerts. And the name of them, we did Tiny Escritoire concerts. And Escritoire is a very heritage desk from the 1800s.
Okay.
So to steal the desk name, but be true to where we are.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea too, just to show off different areas, show off the artists. So what event would you say you're most excited for?
Oh gosh, really unfair. There's a bunch that I'm really excited about. I love Illatry. I think Troy's music is incredible. His new album is absolutely stunning, so I'm always excited to present him. I'm a big fan of Frostbites because I got to perform in the first one. And I love site-specific theater, and the way their artists have interpreted what can and can't be done in a lockdown, I find really exciting. So there are some things that are online, live experiences with an artist, but super intimate, like 4 people get to go.
Oh, okay.
There's like a downloadable sort of podcast show that has been made for a specific location. So you buy the podcast and then you go to that site on your own time and take a walking experience that an artist has crafted. So I just love artists have had a tough go. Yeah,
I was going to say, oh, sorry, you go ahead.
I think artists have had a really tough go, and we talk with a lot of different artists in the work that we do, Winterfest and otherwise, and some have felt really crippled by this, like a lot of us, feeling depressed and anxious and alone and whatever. And some have just like grabbed it, and said, I'm gonna push myself and find some way to be creative in this mess. And I'm thrilled that we've got a bunch of those pieces in here. And I would say another piece that the 360 tour is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
In that mix, one of the artists that we commissioned that I did not know, and I've been working in this arts community for 20 some odd years in Hamilton, and an artist named Clarendine, who's a queer Black dance artist here in Hamilton that I did not know, submitted, and we were looking for one commission, and we looked at it and said, this other group we want to do for the main commission, but I want to see what she and her team do if we give her some money. And what she's come up with are 2 really stunning pieces. Like, they're just gorgeous. So I love it when I get to discover somebody new to me. So I'm happy to share a new artist to me with the rest of the community, and they can find some peace and calm with her, and her piece is called Moonshaker.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like you were saying, I mean, not that I have loved any part of lockdown or COVID, but I've definitely loved, doing these interviews and seeing how artists and businesses are recreating themselves and being innovative. And
Yeah.
it's made people think so outside the box because you have to. And so
Yeah.
that's been really cool. So then I guess my last question for you is just where can people go online to find Winterfest?
Sure. I mean, the website is hamiltonwinterfest.ca, and there's all sorts of stuff there. Um, Links all over the place. There's an events calendar that shows you everything that's going on. Some really fun stuff for kids too. Our Scratch studio with Factory Media Arts. So happy to have that piece. You can also check us out on all the social media platforms, probably except TikTok, but that might change too. We've got something brewing that might be TikTok perfect. So yeah, website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we're all over the place. Yeah.
That was Jeremy Freiburger talking about Hamilton Winterfest 2021, which will be happening January 29th until February 15th. Make sure to check it out at the link below. As always, for more MorningFile content, you can visit cfmu.ca/videos.